Red Square, the parade unit of the Brigade of the Command of the Republic of Azerbaijan is headed by Lieutenant Colonel Mammadov Samik Raischan Aglu.
The situation between Moscow and Baku has turned from tense to downright critical in recent days. After the Yekaterinburg raid, in which security forces beat two Azerbaijanis, Gusen and Ziauddin Safarov, to death, Azerbaijan began to act. Sputnik Azerbaijan journalists were arrested. The agency was accused of illegal activity and ties to the FSB. Against the backdrop of this diplomatic fire, Moscow chose its usual tactic: sit in a corner and hope that it will pass. But it did not.
Everyone is silent. There is nothing to answer.
Azerbaijani media published the results of a forensic examination, which revealed traces of torture. The Russian side insists on the version of heart failure. The Prosecutor General's Office of Azerbaijan opened a criminal case on the fact of the death of the Safarovs in Russia. Against this background, it becomes especially noticeable how few real allies Moscow has left. Just yesterday, Baku was among friendly partners, actively participated in the post-Soviet consensus, and now it is organizing an exemplary flogging, cutting off oxygen to Russian media, detaining citizens with 2 passports, summoning ambassadors and canceling cultural events. Russian propaganda, accustomed to besieging external enemies, has now found itself in an awkward position. It would be necessary to give a tough response, but how, it is not clear.
Sad and gloomy. What will this lead to? To nothing good. Well, at least to serious economic losses. That's it, especially if Russia occupies, well, as in the case of Azerbaijan, 3rd place in terms of trade turnover. And, as you understand, we do not supply oil and gas to Azerbaijan at all, but, let's say, products of a higher processing stage. That's all.
If Russia raises an eyebrow for a second, once we raise an eyebrow and Ukraine will understand everything. And no people are needed. Let's take Kyiv. We are Azerbaijan's 3rd trading partner. It is noteworthy that Putin's former classmate, businessman and public figure Ilham Ragimov intervened in the matter. They studied together at the law faculty of Leningrad University. Ragimov condemned the raid by Yekaterinburg security forces on behalf of the Association of Lawyers of the Black Sea and Caspian regions that he heads and promised to contact Bystrykin to put the culprits in jail. The Russian Foreign Ministry responded to Baku's de facto démarche. Maria Zakharova called the detainees Russian citizens, and the head of the investigative committee Alexander Bystrykin instructed his subordinates to prepare a report on the mass detentions of Azerbaijanis and the deaths of 2 suspects. In the end, the story provides another fact of the existence of a torture system in Russian pre-trial detention centers with electric shockers, threats to force people to eat dirt and, of course, with the resulting corpses. There were about N people pre-trial detainees. Some were hospitalized, 2 died. Investigation, apologies. No, everything is as usual.
Complete silence. First, heart failure, and then a quiet transfer of the case to Moscow. Now this story has everything: a diplomatic scandal, truncheon marks, undercover FSB agents, the intervention of Putin's old friends and the silence of the Kremlin. Only now Russia has fewer and fewer allies, and even its post-Soviet partners are no longer afraid to confront. The irony is that Moscow used to hand out black marks to everyone for insufficient loyalty, and now it itself is isolated, with a driven internal hysteria and increasingly toxic security officials in uniform.
Mass arrests in Yekaterinburg began early in the morning of June 27. FSB and Ayman special forces broke into the apartments of people from Azerbaijan. According to eyewitnesses, the security officials acted extremely harshly. It is unknown whether the suspects resisted them. Neither the Ministry of Internal Affairs nor the FSB have yet published a video of the raids. However, their outcome is already known. 2 ethnic Azerbaijanis died, 3 in intensive care, and about 50 more people were taken to the investigative committee. This is what one of the Azerbaijanis looked like after being detained.
And what happened to my face? Yes. They
fell. After this process.
And how long ago did they fall? Well, the 25th of the 25th, I understand.
According to Russian law enforcement agencies, the raids and detentions are related to the investigation of contract killings and serious crimes from the early 2000s. The investigative committee, without providing details of the criminal case being investigated, states that an organized crime group from Yekaterinburg had been operating undercover for many years, and only now has it been possible to identify its members. According to the investigation, the defendants, who were part of an ethnic criminal group, were involved in a number of murders and attempted murders committed in Yekaterinburg in 2001, 2010 and 2011. Several suspects have already confessed, are cooperating with the investigation, and searches have been conducted at the residences of these individuals. It is strange that the Sletcom is not saying anything about the death of 2 people during detention. According to Azerbaijani media, the raids were accompanied by brutal beatings and torture. 2 men, brothers Zayedin and Gusin Safarov, died.
Relatives say that they were beaten for several hours, then taken away. It is not clear in what direction. After, well, they were still alive. After that, information appeared that they died. If the cause of death is associated with some chronic diseases, then, naturally, we will not agree with this. We will try to fight and determine the real cause of death. According to the nephew of those killed in the Ugara Safarov, the beatings and torture with an electric shocker began from the moment of detention. They continued on the way to the paddy wagon, and then at the station. Electric shocks were in abundance. They
beat us with electric shocks, batons, belts. My brother Mukamed and I were in one room, and my father Mazahir Safarov was taken to another place. I heard my father screaming. They tortured him with electricity. My father screamed that he had a bad heart, that a stand was installed on it. When my father said this, they insulted him and applied electricity to his heart. They kept us there until the evening and beat us constantly. They beat Ayaz Safarov, Akif Safarov, and tortured them with electricity. Suddenly they said that 2 people had died. At about 9 p.m. I heard them shouting at my father, "We will kill your brothers, your sons, everyone. Admit your guilt, sign." We were told that the administration was coming now. We had to go to the SVU. We would sign a contract and we had to sign it, and if we didn't sign it, they would mutilate us. They told us that if we signed the contract, we would be sent to war in the morning.
6 Azerbaijanis have been arrested by the court at the moment. The Russian authorities claim that they are all Russian citizens. However, most of them also had Azerbaijani passports. The chargé d'affaires of the Russian embassy in Azerbaijan, Pyotr Volokov, was summoned to the foreign ministry and a strong protest was made to him.